Welcome to our weekly investigative episode. Today we're going to deep in the hostile jungle of Singapore to study the lives of the natives. Firstly, we'll try to understand how the economy works. To that end, I have procured a native guide from the travel Huazhong, who will be my guide for today.
Hello, I'll be guiding you towards your village.
Hello there. Judging how thin you are, I guess that your crops aren't doing well at the moment.
No, our crops are fine. However, it seems that a mysterious force has driven up prices, and most of us can't afford to eat.
Is that so? Even out in the jungle, so far from modern civilization, forces of the market continues to plague your life. Do tell me how this insanity starts.
It all began with foolscap paper. You know how foolscap paper is a very important part of our lives, right? We plow the ground with it, we build houses with it, we use it in all sorts of manufacturing processes, and we even eat it. It's actually a very special material, and the manufacture is actually a very secret process. But one key ingredient is actually a badge of our tribe, something like that. Recently, our tribal council has raised the prices really high, and the official statement is there was an accident in one of the plants that we outsourced to RI. Personally, I find that very suspicious. All this reduce the amount of foolscap we can produce, and the amount of goods and services that we can provide also drop rapidly as well, because all these processes are so very much dependent on foolscap itself. A few weeks ago, our village chief, His Royal Highness Dr. Hon, actually started printing our Huazhong money. And what happens is that he would then try to give it out to the poor and the needy to let them buy food. Of course, it didn't help matters at all, because with the increase in money, these prices just started rising really, really high to keep up with the currency surplus. And in fact, we still owe ACSI quite a large sum of money from the last war. And His Royal Highness Dr. Hon, in his infinite wisdom, started printing money for that as well. Well, that's only for people whose incomes increase proportionately to the rise in prices. For example, people like me, I'm a junior accountant under His Royal Highness Dr. Hon. And in fact, my salary is basically fixed. So the increase in prices will be a heavy burden on me, because my income doesn't rise proportionately as the increase in prices. And in fact, our war veterans also, those our old men and women who have served our Huazhong tribe in the prime of their lives, they get a fixed sum of money from their pension. And in fact, they have to bear the burden, they bear the brunt of the increase in prices, because the salary is fixed. They can't, the increase in prices will affect them.
So, how has inflation affected your life?
Well, to tell the truth, I am largely unaffected by this. My father works in a factory in RI. He receives his income in the form of art brushes, their local currency. I can easily trade in the brushes, so I still get the same amount of pocket money. The foreign scholars here from the moon, however, receives a fixed amount of Huazhong dollars from Dr. Hon. They are the ones with the problem. Their pocket money is more or less fixed, although recently, the Scholar Welfare Unit has tried to increase their pocket money weekly to reflect the rising prices. But of course, that's not enough. Prices increase, like 200% daily? So those with fixed pocket money have it tough, but people like me have no problem.
Let us now interview a scholar from the moon who will tell. So, what difficulties have you been facing due to this crisis?
Well, I just received my pocket money from the SW this morning. To prevent it from losing value, I need to change it to the brushes as soon as possible. A brush for the brush, yeah. And I get my pocket money daily, means that I have to keep running to the general office every morning once I receive it. Just look at it. Okay. I can't afford to daily, you know. Once I waited until recess to exchange it, but by then my $50 was like only 2 brushes. I waste valuable sleeping time, you know. Yeah, then whenever I want to buy stuff, I just change that into the Huazhong dollar and use that.
It seems that even the moon students face the brunt of inflation. By the way, this situation does not only affect students who receive their pocket money on a daily basis. Those who receive daily wages or receive any money at all want to convert it to a form that's not susceptible to inflation. Most frequently, these are gold, jewels, or other currencies. In most cases, these alternative forms are not easily traded, so to spend money, they will first need to convert it back into the local currency. This process can be rather troublesome.
We will now examine the impact of inflation on private business owners. Mr. Restaurant owner, has inflation been hard on you?
Yes. In fact, today I had to run down to Coronation to buy some mahjong paper at markets. I ran out of them while I was updating my menus. You know how much the prices change or not? Every half an hour I keep having to change prices. I keep having to rewrite and update my menus. Plus I didn't go to school, all the calculations are confusing me. I think my competitor just changed to putting up a TV in front of his stall and showing his prices there. He had it sewn in by helicopter and installed some solar panels just for it. Plasma TV some more. I got no money and I have to do with pen and paper.
Yeah, why don't you use another currency like say the brushes used by your fellow tribesmen?
I cannot lah. Dr. Hon say must preserve the heritage of using the Hwachong dollar. We're still trying to discuss with him. In the meantime, we can't do anything about it.
As you can see, vendors have difficulty communicating the change in price to customers. So this is also a problem with widely fluctuating prices, not just inflation. In addition, while switching currencies is a possible solution to the problem of inflation, nationalistic sentiments would prevent people from adopting more stable currencies unless endorsed by the government. In severe cases, the government will issue a new currency as replacement for the previous inflated one. Loans will also be adversely affected by inflation. Even simple things like library fines can become common later because of inflation. The Library of Hwachong was able to settle its debts only because it can adjust the fines at its discretion. To set up a computer system just for this occasion to calculate new fines that will take into account the devaluations of money.
In the past, we charged only $2 per week for late returns. That was before the Hwachong dollar started devaluating. Now, thanks to the new school computerized system, we update our late fees daily and publish them onto the school messaging board. Computerized reporting and announcement portal, in short, CRAP. But that also means that for the time before the system kicked in, we only charge $2, which was way below the market actual rate of $50. We draw the short straw in this case, but we've been lobbying the tribal council for a long time for a change to a more stable currency.
The situation will be much worse for banks and moneylenders who charge a fixed interest rate which is determined at the time of the loan. Events such as this inflation might make the money that they get back from the loan be worth less than what they loaned it out for. In the same manner, savings are also worth much less now, hurting those who have saved up. So from this week's investigative episode, we have delved deep into the mysterious world of Singapore and its tribes. From the case of Hwachong, we have learned how fragile and vulnerable our economic system is. Of course, all we've done was just an economic project, but this system will slice economies around the world. We hope you have enjoyed our program and actually learned something useful for once. Good night.